Okay, a bit of a random thought. Being a parent brings you closer to God. So I heard someone say this. They said that raising a kid, being a parent, is a sanctifying experience. Sanctification. Now, that was a pretty big word, and that was a couple years ago before I started learning about God. So I didn't know what it meant. I looked it up, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it just means becoming more godlier, more closer to God. So being sanctified means being closer to God, I think. So that's how I understand it, at least. And I thought about it because it rings true, right? So when you become a parent, you're basically becoming God. Not in the blasphemous sense that you're competing with God or anything like that, but if you think about it, it's like a like a weaker version of being God, like a taste or like a shell of being God. So let me explain. So for example, God creates life, right? So God is the only being that can create life. Well, if you're a parent, in a way, you create life. You come together, you make a baby, right? And of course, everything has to go through God, but just the act of creating life is almost like it's pretty godlike. That's like kind of crazy. Someone said that having a baby is simultaneously the most extraordinary thing and the most ordinary thing. It's extraordinary because you're creating life, which is mind-blowing when you think about it. But it's also ordinary in that it's just woven into the fabric of our being. Like we came from parents, and as parents we make babies, and it's just part of being human. It's just how the human race continues to exist. So animals and humans reproducing, life giving way to more life, that's just normal, but also kind of crazy. It's almost like people who think, oh, how come we never see God perform any miracles? But then if you think about it, everything's a miracle. Like everything's a miracle. Like just the fact that, like, why are we even here? Like, why are you? Why am I me? Why do we exist? Why do we have a consciousness? Why do we have this experience? Why does the universe exist? Like, why was there even a Big Bang in the first place? Like, all of that is a miracle, but we just kind of take it for granted. We're just like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess we're here on a planet in the middle of the universe, and shrug. We haven't seen God, so we haven't seen any miracles or whatever. But anyway, so back to the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, you create life, and then like God, by the way, is called the Father. So I mean, this analogy is nothing new, but as a parent, as a father, you raise your kids, you provide for your kids, you teach your kids, and you want what's best for your kid. And sometimes you do things that are hard, like you teach them and you punish them and they cry and they get sad, and you don't give them what they want, and sometimes you give them what they want. And here's another important thing, that we don't force our kids to do stuff, right? I mean, some parents probably try to, but we give our kids free will, just like God gives us free will. So our kids can go on and basically live their own lives, and that's what happens. Nobody can control their kids. Like, we may want to, we may say, like, we want, like, son and daughter, we want you to have these values. We want you to be Christian and follow Christ and avoid these sins and avoid sex before marriage, and do not steal, and do not murder, and all this stuff. But ultimately, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and you can't change that. It's I mean, they're their own person, right? I mean, you can try your best to guide them, but they're gonna do their own thing, and it's gonna hurt if they choose the bad choices, and you're just kind of looking at them. It's like the parable of the prodigal son, where I hope I don't butcher it, but it's where basically God is just so happy that a lost son has come back, that a lost son has gone away and done bad stuff, and then after some time came back, and there's so much joy and everything. So yeah, that's kind of how we can somewhat understand how God feels, right? Giving our kids free will and then just hoping that they do the right thing. So yeah, we as parents, we provide for them, and we teach them. You know, we do all these things that God does for us. But at the same time, we just care so much, right? Like, the stakes are so high. That's the one thing that really got to me, and partly what made me go on this mission to seek truth is because when you're just by yourself, or even with you and your wife, you're just two adults and you don't really think too much of things. You're like, oh yeah, I mean, I try to do the good thing, and whatever happens, you know, just living life day by day, trying to have fun, lounge around, get my dopamine fix in, no true purpose in life. But with the kid, it's like, wow, so everything you do, it's not just about you anymore, it's about your kid as well. And the stakes are high. I mean, that's like one of the most important things. One of the most important responsibilities is making sure your kid turns out right. And so you are basically forced to research what is the right thing, what is the right value to teach our kids. And I think that's why a lot of people get more conservative as they get older. They get older, they start having families, they start valuing what's stable and what's right and what's true. Whereas when you're young, you don't really care. You're like, I'm progressive. I'm just gonna go and go into the unknown and just try new things. And oh yeah, legalize marijuana, why not? Get a bunch of cool tattoos on your forehead, why not? Just everything, just flip it on its head, and who cares? And then once you get older, you start thinking, well, maybe that's a little bit of arrogant thinking and a little bit not wise and not cautious. And when you get older, you want more stability, and you want more things that you can count on, that have an actual foundation, and not just willy-nilly do whatever the current trend is. Yeah, things become more serious when you're older, and looking at what the stakes are at this thing that really matters, right? And you think, oh, does it really matter? Are we just specks of dust floating around in the universe? You know, is it just a nihilist way of thinking? But once I started learning about God, I started learning about the purpose and what's good, and there is a point, there is a purpose, an eternal purpose, that we all just don't disappear after however many years on earth. right? This all has an eternal, a potentially eternal effect. So yeah. Also, being a parent is hard. It's not easy. And you especially give up your creature comforts. And that's basically what I was all about. I was about sleeping in, getting tons of sleep, and just doing things that were pleasurable to me, right? But when you're a parent, you lose sleep, you do things that are uncomfortable and sometimes even painful, all for a greater good. So you learn quickly that it's not just about you. It's not about how much sleep you get or what's convenient for you or what you like to do. I mean, yeah, you try to balance it, right? So you can enjoy the gifts that God has given us, but priorities are, you have your responsibilities and you gotta do it for the greater good. And before kids, I was, things were easy, right? Like, it didn't take much work to take care of ourselves. But now, taking care of another human being, they're constantly looking out for what's best for them. And the job's never done. It's not just like checking a checkbox, right? If you get the job done, you're trying to do a better job. Or you're trying to find other ways to add more good things. So it's like, okay, cool, my kid is fed, my kid has clothes, like the bare minimum. Like, what else can I do? How else can I enrich their lives? Or how else can I plant seeds to help them become better people? And it's a cooperation, right? Like, just like God cooperates with us. Like, we always think, oh yeah, our kids will grow up and they'll get jobs, they'll learn to do this, they'll learn to do that. But ultimately, they have to learn, right? Like, yeah, most people learn to read, but the kids themselves, they have to learn to read and they have to learn to do other things. So it's not 100% on you. It's a cooperation. It's a teamwork kind of thing. So that's kind of a nice little parallel. Like, we cooperate with God. All right, I gotta go. I'm about to be in the front of this line here. All right, you get my point. That was what I was trying to say. So, goodbye.